What if I told you that every afternoon when you feel like collapsing into bed, it's not because you're getting old or becoming lazy? What if there's actually a biological thief operating inside your body, systematically draining your energy reserves without you even knowing it exists? Today, we're going to expose this invisible energy vampire that's been sabotaging millions of people over 40. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to fight back. You know that feeling when you wake up exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep? When you need 3 cups of coffee just to feel human? When climbing a flight of stairs feels like running a marathon, you've probably blamed it on stress, aging, or just being out of shape. But what if I told you there's a single hormone that could be behind all of this misery? This hormone doesn't just steal your energy. It's like having a secret saboteur living in your body, working against everything you're trying to accomplish. While you're desperately trying to eat right, exercise, and get enough sleep, this biochemical betrayer is undoing all your hard work behind the scenes. Sound familiar? Sarah is 43 years old. 2 years ago, she was energetic, sharp, and could power through her days without a second thought. Then something changed. She started feeling like she was moving through molasses. Her brain felt foggy. Her motivation disappeared. She gained 20 pounds seemingly overnight despite eating the same foods. Her doctor ran basic tests and said everything looked normal. Sarah's story isn't unique. Millions of people experience this exact same energy crash after 40, and they're all being told the same thing. It's just part of getting older. But that's not true. There's a specific hormonal shift happening in your body that's creating this perfect storm of exhaustion, and understanding it changes everything. The culprit is cortisol, but not in the way you might think. Yet, you've probably heard cortisol called the stress hormone, and while that's partially true, it's so much more complex than that. Cortisol is supposed to be your body's natural energy management system. In healthy people, cortisol levels spike in the morning to wake you up, then gradually decline throughout the day so you can sleep at night. It's like having a perfectly calibrated internal clock that manages your energy. But here's where things go wrong after 40. Your cortisol system starts malfunctioning. Instead of following that healthy rhythm, your cortisol levels can become chronically elevated, chronically suppressed, or completely erratic. When this happens, it's like your body's energy management system has been hijacked by a drunk driver. Chronically high cortisol is like having your body in permanent emergency mode. Your system is constantly preparing for a crisis that never comes. This floods your bloodstream with stress hormones that were only meant to be used in short bursts. Your body starts breaking down muscle tissue to fuel this constant state of high alert. Your metabolism slows down because your system thinks it needs to conserve resources for the ongoing emergency. Your sleep becomes restless because your brain can't properly shut down. But low cortisol can be just as devastating. When your adrenal glands become exhausted from years of overproduction, they can essentially give up. This leaves you feeling like you're running on empty all the time. You wake up tired, you stay tired all day, and no amount of rest seems to help. It's like trying to run a car on fumes. The most frustrating part is that this cortisol dysfunction creates a vicious cycle. When you're exhausted, you reach for quick energy fixes like sugar and caffeine. These cause blood sugar spikes that trigger even more cortisol release. You lose sleep because your cortisol rhythm is disrupted, which makes your cortisol problems worse. You stop exercising because you don't have energy, but exercise is one of the best ways to regulate cortisol naturally. Your body also starts storing fat differently when cortisol is out of whack. High cortisol specifically promotes belly fat storage because your body thinks it needs easily accessible energy reserves for the ongoing crisis. This isn't just cosmetic. Belly fat actually produces more inflammatory compounds, which further disrupt your hormonal balance. But here's the good news that changes everything. Once you understand that cortisol is the problem, you can start targeting it specifically. You're not fighting some mysterious age-related decline. You're dealing with a specific, measurable, treatable hormonal imbalance. The first step is fixing your sleep rhythm because cortisol and your circadian clock are intimately connected. This means consistent bedtimes, morning sunlight exposure, and creating evening routines that signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Your cortisol needs those clear day-night signals to reset its natural rhythm. Movement is crucial, but not the kind you might expect. High-intensity exercise can actually make cortisol problems worse if you're already stressed. Instead, focus on gentle, consistent movement like walking, yoga, or swimming. These activities help regulate cortisol without adding more stress to your system. Your diet becomes a powerful tool when you understand cortisol. Stable blood sugar is essential because blood sugar crashes trigger cortisol spikes. This means focusing on protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates while minimizing sugar and processed foods that create those dangerous spikes and crashes. Stress management isn't just nice to have anymore. It's essential medicine. Whether it's meditation, deep breathing, time in nature, or whatever helps you genuinely relax, these practices directly counteract cortisol's effects on your body. The most important thing to understand is that this isn't permanent. Your body wants to have balanced energy. It wants to feel vibrant and strong. When you give it the right signals and support, it can absolutely restore that natural energy rhythm you remember from your younger years. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're dealing with a specific hormonal challenge that has specific solutions. Understanding cortisol is the key to unlocking the energy that's been hiding inside you all along.